Hey everyone, Susan Winter here. So today's live discussion is you're seeing someone new. It's early days in dating, and you're kind of wondering what the protocol is. You want to retain your power, you want to retain your confidence. So you have basic questions like, what pace do I take? Who does the texting? What's the protocol as far as texting? How much effort do I apply? And maybe even questions like, how open should I be? How much do I reveal? This is a great question, and I have to thank Mido, the Swedish bodybuilder, who wrote me on Instagram. And he's been such a great guy chatting with me internally on Instagram. And I thought, let me just take this question because early days are confusing to all of us. We divide into two camps. One, the hopefuls. The hopefuls that like, oh, I see somebody I like, and you leap in with both feet, both hands, you just dive into the deep end and you hope for the best. And then there's the rest of you that are reluctant, maybe a little bit cynical, you've been burnt, you want to believe in love, but you've looked at what lies in the wake of your past and you're like, I can't believe it one more time. So between these two factors, this is where we're going to talk today. Susan Winter here, your love coach, best-selling author, relationship expert, saying hi to all my friends. And AK has stayed up till 2 a.m. in Australia. Love, love, love my Aussies, homeland of Martin Copping. Hi, how are you? I can't even think of dating. I'm too brokenhearted and won't use a woman for healing. Okay, all right. B, $2. You look absolutely amazing. B, thank you so much. Okay, like a girl admission here, Arizona is so dry. Oh my God, I come here with thick, fluffy hair. I come back a month or two later looking like I've got white wheat straw. So I fuss with it and fuss with it. I don't know. I go back to New York and my skin plumps up, my hair looks luscious. So thank you very much. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Are you earlier today? Swedish men are fabulous. I agree. We are on daylight savings. Arizona never changes, but the rest of the US does. And we might have missed some of you Europeans. You may not know that we went through our daylight savings here. There's a lot of controversy about this. Most people just wish they'd keep daylight savings. Nothing is more disturbing than being in the Northeast, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's pitch dark. I mean, it's depressing enough with the snow and the gray skies, but we haven't come to a universal decision. Arizona, cowboy country, it's a renegade within itself. This is a very unique part of the US. It's a certain mindset, very, very much independent thinkers and renegades. They never change. They're like, you guys do what you want, we're good. So now I'm literally on California time. So it makes me -3 hours. So that might have thrown some of you off. Want to say hi, Galactic Woman, some of my friends here. Sarah M., hi from Germany. I will be in Munich. Please don't let me forget to talk about that on May 21st. Ilhan, hi. I wanted to thank you. Well, of course, you're welcome. Jean P., hi. How are you doing? You helped me so much with your videos. Greetings from Israel. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. This is fabulous. Yes, Arizona is super dry. I always leave there like a prune. So it's kind of not so pretty. I had girlfriends tell me that they slather themselves with cocoa butter and things like that. Okay, so I live on the East Coast and I hate the time change. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, AK, you wanted to ask us a question. I know you're waiting up and I'm here for you. And if you have a problem with it, sometimes we do have problems with Super Chat. Just let us know and my ladies will find you. So B and Gwyneth are my two super moderators here. I thank them tremendously. B has been a client and the most generous of all clients, sending me homemade cookies from Germany. God. I mean, and sugar cubes. Oh my God. And beautiful, beautiful paintings and things like that. I am so blessed. And Munich was just a place to change flights before I went to Croatia in May. And I decided to actually make it a business trip. because I wanted to take both Bea and Gwyneth out to dinner. And so I decided to come in a couple days early and kind of sleep and rest, have some business appointments, have some interviews with press, and then also to meet some colleagues, but mostly to take out Bea and Gwyneth and have the chance to spend an evening with them myself. And I'll be bringing my travel mate Barbie with me, and we've had a lot of fun. We went through the Balkans, we went on the Danube last year, and we met different clients and followers all throughout our tour. And so that's why I ask you to sign up for the newsletter at susanwinter.net on the homepage, because I know you keep saying, I signed up, I don't hear anything. Well, I don't send you the stuff all the time. I send it occasionally, like once every month and a half or so. But if you are in Munich and you'd like to join us, we are having a gathering May 21st. It's a couple hours. It's a meet and greet. So I wanted to set your expectations properly. There's no charge for this. I would like to either secure a room, a conference room, or part of the hotel that I'm in to have coffee and tea and some little treats and things like that, and just talk to you, meet and greet for about 2 hours. There's no charge. I just like to meet fans, clients, and followers. And we have to keep it fairly intimate. It has to be less than 20 people. But we wanted to be collecting information. So if you think you'd like to come to Munich on Saturday the 21st for a couple of hours, and you think it makes sense for you to do that traveling, then please send an email to the media department, media@susanwinter.net, and list the city of your choice. We will also be in Dubrovnik, Split, and Sorrento. And we are getting tons of people writing us, so I'm very excited about this. Okay, here we go. $5. Let me go to this. A man I have gone on over 10 dates has told me that he does not know if he's ready for a relationship because of a dog he's trying to get back from, oh, Lord God. I don't even need to read the rest. Are you serious? This is creative. He's trying to get a dog back from his ex or whatever, and it's too traumatic. I mean, unless he's trying to get a dog out of the Ukraine, I can't figure out what would stop him from seeing you. Natalia, first of all, you're absolutely beautiful. I don't understand this. They're just some weirdo guys. I would say to him, again, I don't know the full context of this, so forgive me. I'd say, when they do a pulling away, I want you all to go, absolutely. I understand. And you know what? I agree. Take care of the dog. You know, maybe we'll catch up in the future later. And I want you to just move on. Okay? Now, I want to try and get to AK because I think I've got him here. AK, here we go. Love it when men pursue, but maybe I overdo the passivity. How do I balance so attraction grows? Okay, this is the title to the show today. Great at first few dates. Bravo. But it usually does not eventuate into relationships. Okay. Well, I don't know what gender you are. It doesn't matter. But traditionally, the men did pursue. And that's the time period that I grew up with. And wait, gets better yet. This is not a fairy tale. They pursued for marriage. This was, nowadays this may seem like an impossible goal, but when I was growing up, this was just normal. It's what one did. I was the one weird girl trying to avoid marriage, okay? So I guess born in the wrong time period. But we are accustomed to that. And for most women my age, and women who have grown up with men pursuing, whether you grew up in the southern part of the United States or you come from a conservative environment, it's not so comfortable to make the first move. However, that's why I suggest that if women are uncomfortable making the first move, at least show the man or show the woman that you like that the door is open. Give them the green light and let them know that you're interested, because a lot of people are intimidated. They can be intimidated by a strong woman. They can be intimidated by an exceptionally handsome man. They can be intimidated by your job or by the fact that you look like you're confident, even if you're not. So we have to make them feel as though they can approach us. This is a judgment call. There is an entire realm of dating philosophy for women that is all about feminine energy and being the queen. Um, that doesn't feel natural to me. I'm not against it. I'm just able to speak from my experience. I don't discount it. As you listen to me and you listen to different people on YouTube, I strongly suggest you learn to be an independent thinker. Take what works, look at it, evaluate it, try it out in your life, see if it works for you, do your own experimentation. What feels right, what feels good. You will probably come up with an amalgamation of all of these things, a hybrid version given certain circumstances. Okay? We don't want to be chasing men because if we have to chase a man, he's already either lacking in motivation or lacking in clarity. I mean, whatever this guy's doing with his dog, I mean, I understand, but I don't under no, I don't understand. It's not that hard. It's just not that hard. You like somebody, you don't. You step forward, you investigate. This stuff is crazy to me, but it eventually does. Okay, so what we have to do is get you past the first few dates. Do you have a wide enough selection of people that you think might be adequate candidates? Maybe you're not meeting the kind of people with whom you resonate. We have to find our tribe. Another thing is, are you clear on what you want, AK? And I know you're staying up till 2 in the morning, but are you clear on what you want? You might try hardballing from the very beginning so this doesn't go on. And I mean in a delicate but diplomatic way. You might start with things like, I know I want a relationship and that's really important to me. Just saying, you know, I would often ask men in the early 2000s out of research more than anything. So are you open to the idea of a partnership, of a relationship? I mean, you just met me. I'm not saying you have to make a commitment to me. I'm just saying the idea of a relationship, how open are you to that? You just need to tell them where you're at. Maybe you need to start filtering. Okay. I just think, no, okay. So you just need to filter. You love it when they pursue. How do I balance attraction grows? I don't know why, AK, they're not turning into relationships. If you want, I can work with you, but there's a little bit more information that I need. Okay. Um, let's just move on to other questions here because I do want to read what Mido said, and I hope Mido. I don't know if he's here today. I hope that Mido listens to this. Finally made it to the live almost from the beginning. Hi, Carrie. Okay, I want to read this. So this is what we're talking about today. Are you dating somebody new or are you wondering about the pace? So Mido writes, I would love to have your opinion, knowledge, and experience on how to give in the beginning of dating someone you just met. Some people you meet text you immediately and tell you that they want to meet you again. Some you have to text first. Now remember, he's a guy, okay? How much effort should one put in? This is a good point, and we're going to talk about this. Some might say they find you interesting or something, but deep inside you kind of feel you're not really what they want. But still, you can't help yourself for trying and maybe put in way more effort than you should. Many of you are putting in way much more effort than you should, okay? So basically, how do you know when to say, I'm done, as opposed to giving another shot? Mido, bodybuilder from Sweden, who, by the way, is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Well, hi, you're here. That must be Mido. Hi. Okay, so how do you know how much effort to put in? I am hoping that by listening to these videos, you will learn to be an independent thinker. I want you all to start to trust yourself. There is so much information out there that it'll make your head spin. And I have a client right now that I'm working with, and every time we start to work, she's just like, I call her like a tumbleweed on fire. And then we start to get her focused because she's got so much going on in her head, she can't lock into what she knows to be true. So I want you to start to trust yourselves. One way to do this As you interact with somebody, I want you to ask yourself, how do I feel? Am I comfortable? Do I feel good? Is this interesting and exciting to me? Yes, we want them to want us. Can we please be honest? Even if we want to reject them, we want them to want us. Okay, let's be right. This is human nature. But you've got to start to assess how you feel in their presence. Are you spending more time trying to impress them? Or are you spending more time trying to figure out how you feel when you're with them? So this has to do with effort. We measure our effort by the feeling that we get of their receptivity. I personally don't have time for people that want to play like they're way too cool. I'm not interested in trying to tear down your defenses. I'm not 25 and looking for game because I just want to spin my wheels. I'm not interested in that. If I can't find a click and a connection, I'm way too busy with my life to try and sort it out with you and have you get through your own issues. At some point, it's not your job. It's not your job to do their work for them. Your only job is to know what you want. So let me answer some of these questions that Mido talks about. Let me talk about pace, okay? So many of you jump in and you start to create the dream, okay? The rest of you can't even believe that what they're showing you is real. So we have to, which one are you? Do you know which one you are? I want you right now to identify, are you the cynical, skeptical person that doesn't trust anybody and they've got to prove themselves to you and they're probably lying and a player? Or are you the one that just believes in love and you want to dive right in like those girls did with the Tinder swindler? Okay? Which one are you? Because once you can identify your dominant default, then you can adjust for reality. We want to have an optimistic expectation of the dating process, not just the person, the dating process, to get us the end result of whatever we want, okay? But we need to have optimistic but a realistic sense of what's going on. So for those of you that just meet somebody, oh my God, they're gorgeous, they're so good looking, and you start to fill in the blanks with what you want, if that's what you do, be careful because that's going to take you down a road that's going to hurt you. You can't jump that fast. So the pace is you. You're the one who has to slow down your pace and say, looks good. Am I filling in the blanks? Let me do a little more research. Be warm, be open, be invested, and hope it works out for the best, but be measured in how much you go into this, right, in your head. And for those of you that are cynical, if you've got your guard up so much, why are you even dating? Nobody can get through. You've got to, at some point, believe that at least somebody out there can get along with you and that there'll be somebody you like. And I know it's hard to erase your past. I've got somebody I work with, and, she's had one bad situation after the next, and she'll no more than meet a guy, and she's like, I know he's gonna bolt on me. I know it. And I'm starting to think a lot of this she creates because she's so accustomed to creating it. So if that's your situation, I really urge you to get a consultation. Let me see what's going on here. Hi, okay, Shubham 400, thank you so much. Recently, I interacted with one of my ex-girlfriends after the ex cheated and left me. She knew me and used to take advice regarding career and datings, but this year we ended up sharing how life would be different if we had met before. So are you building a connection with this woman? It sounds positive. Is it in any way tricky or cumbersome that she's a friend of your ex? I mean, she must be an acquaintance. Most people I know, that's kind of a no-go territory out of respect, unless you live in a town with 20 people and you have no other options. We should try and stay away from our friends' turf. But listen, situations are extenuating. I know sometimes people get divorced and marry the brother of the man they were married to. It's just whatever. But just think about what you want to create here. I think you've got a part two. We profess that we would love to see how things turn out for us. Very good. I visited her city and we both hung out a bit talking about what we want from relationship, and it aligns. Very good again. But after that, she is hot, cold, but loves talking with me. Okay. Um, Maybe the reality of what she stepped into is a little frightening now that it's here. Or is she starting to have some kind of guilt thoughts about how she may be seen as now carrying on with you after her friend, you had a relationship with a friend. So we have to determine, how close is she to your ex? If she simply knows her and is friendly with her, I think you're good. If they were dear friends, listen, maybe she's hesitant too. Okay, let's proceed. So far, it looks good. Let's ask you to proceed as if, with confidence, so you don't start to do the distancing dance. And let's see if you just try and make her feel safe and secure and continue to move forward. Remember, in new relationships, it could be back and forth. But even though it goes up and down, we are looking for continual progress on getting closer. And that means speaking more frequently, seeing each other more regularly, having more honest conversations, and being able to work through issues of assumption and misunderstanding. Okay? I think there are more questions. Thank you so much for this. Let me go on from here. Uh, Sparkly waves. Hang on here. Ever since my last breakup 1 year ago, I can't seem to get attracted to men I go on dates with. Okay. They seem superficial, boring, or playing hot and cold games. Where to find authentic, deep men I'm attracted to? Well, the fact that you started with ever since my breakup makes me wonder, have you framed your ex as the perfect partner? Because if you have, there is no room for anybody else. If this ex was amazing and you had an amicable ending, then you should be looking for a prototype. He should be your prototype, and you should be looking for somebody like your ex. But if you had a heartbreak and you have somehow framed this as the one who got away, nobody's going to show up. I like the fact that you know what you want. And let's look for the pattern. Why are all these people superficial? Why are all of them boring? Are you fishing in the same pond? Are you using a certain app? Did you write a profile a certain way that makes them think that they can be superficial? Are you going for people with careers that are not dynamic and interesting? Maybe you need to connect in real life, in a field that is passionate for you, where there are deeper conversations, okay? But my first instinct is to ask you how you framed your ex, because you started with it, so it seems like it's important. Okay, I hope that helps you. I know we have a lot of people asking questions today, so I want to make sure I get to everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see. Natalia, skeptical. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Shubham, proceed forward. Okay, did I miss anybody? I think, okay. Natalia, okay, that's the 10 dates. He's got an issue with his dog. Okay, whatever that is. Really? I mean, come on. I don't even need to hear the rest of it. Okay, so Mido, let me continue with this. Emotional investment. Okay. I would suggest that we think of emotional investments as the end result of ongoing connection that's real, not a wishful response to our dream. Okay? Remember, you must make a clear distinction between what you want to achieve, the feeling of partnership or family or belonging or creativity or power couple or whatever you got in your head, and the person. They're two vastly different things. One is what you really, really, really want. The other, the person, is a thing that we lock onto and desperately try to make them fit that image. They're two different constructs. Think of the burden we put on a prospective partner. This is our dream. This is what we're looking for. We hope they match. We want to see if they match. We want to see if they have the capability. But when you fall for the person instead of the dream, you're at the whim of a human being, and then you're not safe. Okay, and our dreams will change throughout our time period. Maybe in your late 20s, you wanted somebody to go backpacking through Europe with and live a creative life or live on a boat and, I don't know, paint and do odd jobs. And maybe in your 30s, you want somebody to build a business with. Maybe in your 40s, you wish you'd adopted kids. So your dream will change, but you're looking for somebody that matches that. I think I have something new here. Natalia, hi, my dear, again, $5. One of the men I've been dating is a couples therapist, and constantly tells me that he is a gem and amazing. Is this extreme insecurity? You want to do something fun? I'd ask him. In a very nonchalant way. I'd say, Jim, or whatever his name is, I know you're a therapist. I know you know a lot about relationships. Why do you keep selling yourself to me? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but it seems like insecurity. Then the stuff is going to come to the surface. Now, you know what they say about therapists. I'm not saying this is true. But the thing is that they're so screwed up that they go find a way through therapy to help themselves and then end up helping you. Okay, I'm just saying. I would not want to date a therapist. No way I want to be psychoanalyzed and taken apart. That's just me. I want to be off duty in my relationship. And then I have friends that say never marry a lawyer. You never get a faithful, you never get a good divorce. So I don't know. Anyway. Okay. I'd ask him, put him on the spot. Let's see how secure he is in his answer. Okay. All right. B-Ray, here I am. Finally just came back from work. Gwyneth and I had a lovely dinner. Okay. Let's see. We've done some of these. All right. Ooh, this is good advice. Thank you, Tommy. So glad to have my men here. I do love my men. Okay, what other things do we have here? Wow, he's a gem. Oh my, he's a gem. Damn, this is a great question to ask him. I think Natalia should go for it. Okay, let's talk about effort. How much effort should you put into a new relationship? And Mido, please chime in here so I know, because this is all for you, my dear. How much effort, he's a guy, so he probably wants to know how much he should put into pursuit. If they inspire you, if you think there's something there, if you're attracted, if they ignite your mind, I mean, for me, that's an absolute must. Put in some effort. Here's my great fear. Having worked with, God, on my resume, it says with over 5,000 clients. I mean, I work with 450 to 500 new people every year, one time, one and done. Okay? It's more than 5,000, obviously. So the number of stories I hear is like this. And I really worry more about the pain of all of you wondering, what if? What if I could have done something and I held back? What if they might have been a partner? It's the what if I'd gone left instead of right that torments people when they end a breakup. And it's the what if that has us unresolved. I have a client who had to go check out a person that she met years ago before she could move into marriage. It's what I call comparison shopping, but she needed to do it to get clear on confirmation that I'm making the right choice. this has been something I just always had in my head, and he wasn't right for her at all. Then she could proceed. But it is the what if. So for those of you who find yourself very hesitant to enter the world of dating, and you're, like ouchy, and you don't want to be hurt, and you're kind of protecting yourself, what if is going to torture you more than I failed spectacularly. We have to take a higher view of what's going on here. I've had people that, for whatever reason, came into my life at the wrong time. They were kind of the wrong people. I knew that. And I wanted to show better at the time. And I didn't, because of whatever's going on in my life. And maybe I was insecure, or, well, maybe I knew it wasn't going to work out to begin with. And I failed, I think, spectacularly. I think. Can I erase that? No. But what was I really supposed to accomplish there? Sometimes doors close for you, and we have to allow that to be okay. Not everybody is meant to be our mate, and not everybody is meant to be our mate forever. I'm sorry, everyone. I have the first cold I've had in like 10 or 11 years. I don't get sick. There's no getting sick nowadays without taking a COVID test, going like, oh my God, is this a cold? So you have to understand that sometimes it's okay to have people come and go. We wanted to show up better, but the point is, can we then take what works and lock onto that, and then also examine where we need some help? So that's another thing I want to talk about today. I'd like you to all start looking at your patterns, okay? Your patterns of approach, your patterns of who you are in the initial time of attraction. And I want you to start to see what your style is, how you shine, how you don't shine, conversations that are great for you, areas of weakness that maybe you could improve, and also learn the patterns of behavior that work. As you review your successful relationships and you think about how you initially met, how did you behave? How was the back and forth? How was the effort as opposed to lack of effort? How was the contact as opposed to lack of contact? Start to find the formula that works for you, because there is one there. You probably just haven't had a chance to look at it, but it's going to tell you a lot about yourself. Jean P., hi. 1999. Hello, my dear. How are you doing? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So nice to have you here. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I have such a great, wow, such great dating advice from all of you here, giving it to each other. Oh, my goodness. I have such wonderful people here. Okay. I think my last message was held. Can you improve it? Just want to thank you for another great live. Give yourself a big box of tissues. Thank you, Jean P. Oh my goodness, you're so generous. So, Mido, do you have any questions for him? I hope you're in here, because I really wanted to talk to you. Okay, so do we have some of this down here? Your effort. You should measure by their response. And this doesn't mean tit for tat, but it just means if you've been generous, and if you've been, generous in your attempt to get to know them, and you have been communicative, and they're going hot and cold on you, if you feel like asking them a question, you can. There are no rules to this. It's better than an assumption, but you may want to pull back and just say, I like you. I've done my best to get to know you a little bit better, but it just seems like, just so you know, I need some kind of communication, not getting it. So I have to assume that you're not interested. All right. You give them a push. Now they have to come back and say, I'm so sorry. You're wrong. I was in the middle of something. Or they say nothing, which means they would have ghosted you anyway. So you have your answer. And by the way, everyone, no answer and silence is an answer. Okay? That's a no-go area. All right. So, and also you have to know what you want. Are they fulfilling your needs? Are they somebody on the same page? Be optimistic, but be realistic. Okay. Oh, and one thing else that he talked about, um, Mido wanted to know about texting, who and when. Some people are a flourish of texting messages in the beginning, and then they die down. And I think there's nothing harder for people than somebody who seems really interested in the beginning, and then they just peter out. And it's like, what happened? And quite sadly, we have to understand that we live in a time period with a lot of distractions and a lot of other people. And if you met this person online, as most people are, chances are they are interacting with other people who are the next shiny new thing that's caught their attention, and now they're distracted. And all you need to say to yourself is if there was enough here for them, they would have continued to invest, unless they're not really interested in investing in anybody. And again, remember, my conversations are skewed to people who want to create a relationship, not just people who want to randomly date. So that's the perspective I'm coming from. I think we have another question here. Let's see. Seattle Gal, hi, how are you? I'm looking for a casual relationship as I'm not ready for something serious. Wonderful. Glad you can say it, own it, and let it be known. Okay, but I want more than just a roll in the hay. This is this is tricky. This is tricky. How do I make this clear? And how much do I invest? And where should I be cautious? Well, you're not really investing, are you? You don't want a serious relationship. So investment isn't really an issue. You need to define in your mind what you want to experience. And I mean, be really specific. Like, I have a passionate lover who comes over and we make mad love. It's crazy love. And then we talk and we giggle. And maybe we watch Netflix or we go to a movie. I'm not ready for a relationship. They're not ready for a relationship in the formal sense. But we have a humane, deep, and meaningful connection that's basically sexual. So it's more like a friend with benefits. But I had a friend that was very clear on her profiles. She just wanted sex. Okay. And she went into great detail asking men what they do, what they want, what their stamina level is. I mean, she was a guy. She was brutal. Okay. And she wrote down that she's looking for a playmate. And that does not mean that they get to disrespect you. No matter, you're no less of a human being because you want a certain element of the relationship. And quite frankly, this is often misunderstood in the hetero world. If a woman wants to be sexually active, she may be judged as they can treat her more like a whore. It's such a double standard, right? But I would really have a description when you meet people of what is rewarding to you. Like, I really like the version of the European lovers. You have a lover for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, 10 years, and it is that. It's a love affair. You don't want them coming to you with their problems at work. You don't sign up for that part of it, and they don't either. And although I'm thinking of France, where you've got the husband or the wife and they're married for political reasons or social reasons, and they're very open about having extramarital affairs, but they do so in a very confined environment. They care for each other, they like each other, they're friends, but there are parameters on the no-go area. Now, I love it. This is an a la carte design. You are going to make this work for you. And you're going to have to test your model on a number of different people until you find the right participant, because you're not just looking for sex. You are looking for a rewarding relationship, not traditional boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, but you are looking for a rewarding and meaningful interaction. And people are very, very, very confused They get longevity and titles confused with quality. You can infuse quality into a weekend romp and show up completely and be an outstanding part of this person's life, and they can change the course of your life. I've had this happen. I meant to go down one way and I ended up someplace, and I'm like, and you just don't know. So, who you are, how you show up, how you articulate what you want, the qualities that you bring to the table are the things that determine the level of depth or importance that you can create. Okay. So if you want more than a casual, roll in the hay, you explain. Okay. Identify to yourself first and then explain to them. Okay. Great, great question. All right. Let's see. Any other questions here? Gene P. Good question. Okay, sharing. Okay, how can I know if I'm sharing too much with a man you're seeing? We've been talking for almost a month. No sex talk yet. He makes me feel very safe and very positive. I don't want to be annoying. Are you physically seeing each other? Or is this an online romance? I don't trust anything online. I don't care what they say to you. I don't trust anything until you've met them personally and spent time with them. So that's number one. You haven't had sex yet. Okay, you've been talking for almost a month. Not had sex yet. Please tell me you're going out with them. And now they're going very slowly. And what kind of stuff do you want to share? What are you looking to share that you're not sharing? We should give them enough of an idea of our personal life, our lifestyle, what's important to us, our goals, our dreams. Oversharing, which was so common in the 1990s, the wound sharing. The joke was you show up on a date and they're like, okay, I'm out of rehab 30 days. I'm a heroin addict. I was, raped by my father and beaten by my mother, and I grew up on the streets and I was a prostitute. I'm John. Who are you? I mean, it's like, really? You don't need that stuff. That's oversharing. It's okay to have things that are yours and yours alone. And it doesn't mean that they're shameful. It just means that everybody has to have some of themselves. Merging with another person does not mean you lose your identity. And you're allowed to have some secrets. If you want to share them in time, you trust them, that's okay. So the tendency to overshare, especially from a woman, is normally a desire to get closer. Because in the female world, sharing and the degree of sharing is a measure of how close we feel to somebody. Okay? Because women who don't trust other women and who aren't warm do not share any personal information because they're certain it can be used against them. And we transport that into heterosexual relationships and think that that's going to be the same. But men don't really need that for the most part. They need to know you're a human being that has admirable qualities and that's warm and kind and appreciative of them. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Let's see. Did my second super chat go through? AK? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, wonderful. What is the key to attraction growing over time rather than decreasing over time? Wow. Okay, both can happen in relationships. Love to hear your thoughts. One of the hardest things to achieve is the maintenance of a relationship that you've found. Now, I'm going to tell you about this now because it's only going to be available for a little bit longer. Please, please, please listen to my how to keep your love alive on Himalaya. You'll see it in the main video that I have. It's www.himalaya.com/winter. The free promo code is winter, WINTER. They're not going to offer it past this summer. I know that. I can't give it to you. I gave it to them. I sold it to them. So you're not going to be able to hear it after this unless you, buy a subscription, and then you got to hear it with everybody else. So the key to keeping your love alive and the attraction alive is to continue to keep growing as an individual. When you keep growing as an individual and you bring exciting new information back into the relationship, that can reinvigorate the relationship. But many people, we go on with our life. Okay, partner, got them. Okay, career, kids, oh my God. And so you become overwhelmed with the necessities of life. And men, especially who are goal oriented, tend to go, okay, got married, got the girl, fine. So all the effort that they did to win a woman in the beginning, like all the 3 hours worth of love making and all the tenderness, the woman wanted that. She thinks that's going to last forever. Oh, no, no, no. That's a brief period of time. Okay. We're all like, what happened? You used to court me. Yeah, I married you. We got to the car needs to have the oil change. So it changes. Yeah. But growing together and keeping the love alive is the key to excitement. Also, I think you need some time apart. I think time apart from each other to have new experiences. And again, this has to be measured very carefully, AK. Too much separateness creates a chasm. Too much togetherness creates boredom. It's like, if you ever just run to I mean, I've always cherished people with whom there's no bottom to the conversation. I had a boyfriend who, kind man, good looking man, similar values, but I reached the bottom of the barrel. There was nothing new. And after about 9 months, I kept dipping into the well. There were no new conversations. And I realized that all the witty things he said were lines from a movie. That's a special gift that men have that women do not have. I don't remember lines from a movie. You put a bunch of men together, they can recite lines from a movie. They can't remember what you asked them to pick up at the store. They don't remember your birthday. They don't remember the anniversary or the day you got married. But they do remember lines from a movie from 1998. Go figure. So it's just different. Okay. Anyway, let's get back here. You need to keep growing so that you are a new version of yourself. That creates interest. They have to keep growing as well. So you need to fuse into the relationship the mindset that the reason the two of you are together, one of the dominant reasons, is that you are looking to have a partner with a growth mindset, and that the contribution that you give to each other is the edification and support of continuing to grow to become the highest version of yourself. And that's a very high and lofty goal, but that is something very exciting. And that way you would challenge each other, you would encourage each other. It's a whole nother dynamic other than, I just want to come home and have a meal ready and sit down on the couch and watch Netflix or something. Okay. So that is, growth must be factored into the relationship from the beginning. And if it's not established in the beginning and you just got married and thought that it was going to grow, then you need to start working on it with your partner now. Okay. Let's see. Pretty soon we're going to check out of here. I hope I've answered. Let's see here. Gwyneth, thank you for talking to everybody here. Oh my God, men in movies. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Danny, been talking to a woman for 2 months. We have yet to meet in person. I have asked multiple times, but she almost always is unavailable. I've asked for a video, nothing. How long to be patient? I would move on. Does not smell right to me. I don't trust people that can't get together to see you and don't do a video. You could find out to be you're being catfished. Just move on. It's just, when we live in hope, and we need hope to live, but when we live in hope, we can oftentimes give excessive excuses and convince ourselves to continue to apply effort. It's really, really simple. If they want to contact you, if they want to hear from you, they will probably reach out or they will definitely respond. If they want to meet you, they will do so. They will make an effort to do so. and upon invitation will respond. If you ask for a video and they don't give it, I would assume they're a scammer. I don't care what your excuse is. You got too many issues for me to deal with. Whatever it is, on to the next. These signals, you've got to look at what's happening today in the world of scammers and catfishing. You're meeting somebody online, they don't have a chance to meet you, they don't know, they're living away, they're working away, they can't video with you. They video with you, but they're away, they need money to get back. I mean, this is all nonsense. It doesn't work like that. Every day, people are doing apps and meeting each other. Okay? Meet in person, see what you got there. Okay? Move on. That's my suggestion here, Danny. A lot more fish in the sea. Let's see what else. Time waster at best, but Danny might be getting catfished. I'm with you, Roxy, on that one. Not even worth considering. What's the issue? You got too many problems for me. Next. Question. Do you think the chances of finding a committed relationship are very slim for us child-free women? Why? Why? Unfortunately, there are a majority of men who tell me, and they feel badly, but they have to tell me, when we're working together, that they don't want to take on another man's kids. They don't want to take on the drama with the baby daddy or with the ex or the abusive ex. They don't want it. I do have some men that can't wait for a turnkey family. Can't wait for that. Okay? Child-free woman, to many men or women, I suppose, would come with very limited baggage. Why would you think that would? I mean, do you have to make an excuse for it? This was probably in the last 20 or 25 years, the first time that women could actually ask themselves, do I want children? This is my biological gift, true. Does this define who I am in this world? Maybe I don't want children. I mean, it was assumed that if a woman could bear children, that was her job here on earth. And many people embrace that, and it's like, wow, I want that. And some people don't. I know women that have run after a career and did not want children. Okay? Doesn't mean you're not loving, but why would that exclude you? I don't even understand where that's coming from. So I don't know who told you that, or what female or man told you that, or what channel you're listening to, but I don't think it's accurate. Okay? Throughout the rule book for men on the autistic spectrum, the way they process stress and emotions are completely different from regular men. I'm empathic, so I'm like a magnet. Okay, IQ. Sadie had a great question above Danny's. If it didn't come through in a super chat, I don't know that I'm going to find it, guys. So, Sadie, dear Susan, what dating advice would you give to a woman turning 50, taking early retirement, and never had a long-term relationship? Thanks. Did you want one? You're 50, never had a long-term relationship. I'm not saying that's wrong or bad. That's you, but you need to know why. Did you want one? If you didn't want one, own it. Then go into casual dating and have fun and set the rules for anything that's going to make you feel happy and comfortable. If you wanted one and never had one, you really need to isolate what factors stopped you from having that, because until you know if you've got resistance, it's not fair to burden yourself with something's wrong with you. I mean, if you've got an interior resistance to having a relationship, you've got to identify that before you can move on. I'm happy to work with you. No way I can tell here. I think there might be a social judgment. Oh, you're 50, never been married. Okay? If you were a man, they wouldn't say that. You might have the very plausible excuse, I was building a career. I didn't have time for it. Or I never met the right man, so therefore I didn't have children. But if you are capable of loving and you envision a romantic partnership, there's no reason you can't have it. But it sounds like you've got some unfinished business here in your own processing. I strongly suggest you either go to a therapist or go to a coach because there's no way we can unravel it here. Okay? But it's never anything to be ashamed of. You just have to know what you want today. Okay? You have to know why you made the decisions in the past and be able to articulate that in a clear sentence. Okay? And then you need to know what you want now and articulate that. So, folks, we are almost done. Mido, I hope you heard this. Okay, so watch the patterns that work for you. Be optimistic, but be realistic. Know if you fall too easily or if you're too cynical, and try and work with whatever you've got to make that more moderate. Effort should be judged. You have an honest effort to show that you're interested, but if you find that it's falling on deaf ears and the person's giving you a hard time, just move on. I mean, you can, of course, ask them why. Say, I liked you. I'm sorry it didn't work out. You don't seem sufficiently interested. If I'm reading this wrong, let me know. Otherwise, very nice meeting you. Boom, done. Next, next, next. Okay? My newsletter, susanwinter.net. Go to the homepage, sign up for the newsletter. I don't sell your name. I don't bother you with stuff. I just keep you informed as to what's going on. Coaching, you want to coach with me? I'm still doing one-on-one. I will be changing that over the next, probably by 2023. I'll go into some kind of group coaching or a signature program. But right now I'm still doing individual. And let's see, Munich, Dubrovnik, Split, and Sorrento. If you are in any one of those cities, write the city in the subject title and send us a note as to who you are and what your deal is and how we can get a hold of you. And we will put you into the email group and we will be firming up plans as we go along. Remember, Croatia, well, got a lot going on this part of the world. This is, fingers crossed, this is our intention, okay? So we will be visiting, and remember, for Croatia and Sorrento, I'm on vacation with my friend, but in the past, when we went down the Danube, we met clients and fans in different cities. We had a lunch, we had a coffee, whatever we had time to do, because we've got our own plans. So it's only Munich that is the 2-hour meet and greet, okay? And the rest is for us to coordinate, okay? My friends and colleagues in the Ukraine and my clients that have family there, my heart goes out to you. I've just heard from some clients that were able to get their family out and others that cannot. Okay, one last one, and then I've got to go. $10. Samantha, hi. Me and my ex decided to try again. Okay, we're miserable without each other, but we have problems. He's very close to his female friend, and she does not include me in their relationship. Any suggestions? Okay, obviously this hurts you, and you should be telling him, and you should be explaining to her. It sounds like, it feels to me from this that he is somewhat emotionally cheating with her, and that's a very strong word, but let me just say his emotional connection, you feel, is being sent more to her than to you. They're not including you. And if you have a friend that you're with, you probably include him. You need to tell him what it is, how it affects you, and that if she's going to be a friend, you're being very open-minded here, but it is always a little uncomfortable for a woman, especially, when you're getting back together again, to have this other woman in your presence if she's not including you. The question would automatically be, why? Do they not want to include me? Is there something going on? I don't want to think that. I'd like to have an open mind, but if I'm not included, you can see how that would affect me. So let's fix that, okay? Samantha, thank you very much. B and Gwyneth, thank you. We will see you next week. If you have a question for me, please let me know. You can write it to us. Go to video requests, which is on the last page. It's contact. Underneath media, go to video requests. There's a box. Enter your video request there. Or if you have a question here, you can write it here. Want to know what you want to hear. Mido, thank you so much. I hope this helped you. Everyone, thank you. I will see you next week. Loved. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Gwyneth. Thank you, B. Thank you, all the wonderful participants here. Samantha, you're very welcome. Gnarly Cat, thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next week. Take care and have a fabulous week. Mwah. Thank you. Bye.